Is this Namek? No, we're just shooting in a new location.
We're here at Say and Sit Down, everyone. We're talking about Dragon Ball
Z.
And I'm Jared.
Jacob. I'm trying to take a sip.
We are at episode 335. Vegeta.
235. The episode opens with Vegeta's The Bean music playing at the opening, and it's really a new era of Dragon Ball Z because it is kind of weird. It's like there's like a tube from where he is, and he'll go to the space station but I don't get it. Is it on the other side of the planet? He goes through that tube.
Okay.
And then he appears with the spaceship.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, I couldn't picture it in my mind what that means.
Yeah.
But he's very serious. It starts with him saying, "Gohan, I'm so sorry." So he's already really regretful and nervous from someone who last episode was telling Goku it's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So was that just an act? And Vegeta is worried?
I think he's worried. Dabura is obviously a super powerful character. We know he's at least as powerful as Cell, or around there. That's pretty much the theory, which would make sense. That's a pretty powerful being. And I think also he's a good... I think we also forget sometimes, because they don't really put it out here, there's also just fighting prowess. Like, there's also, like, your ability to fight. I think that, obviously... power levels make sense, but if you don't know how to fight, like Boo kind of defies that in a way, but he's also so powerful it's hard to tell. But you do also have to have a technique to you as well, and that can normally get you out of some of the situations. He's
got finesse.
I got this thing. He's got this cool thing where his energy turns red, and he just starts blasting Boo. He just starts like
it's like a mega attack. He does.
Yeah.
But
does have a name, right? I think he just did something. I think he had a name.
Trading cards.
He should have like Demon Comment or something like that. I don't know, like Demon Breath.
Demon Blast.
That Demon Breath would have been cool.
That's what it smells like. You have, Frosty. It's a little smelly up here. Between this and Vegeta, Babidi is not yielding much mind control power. Do you think is the theory that he's letting Dabura do all this? Because he's like, Dabura, stop. And he can't control any of his minions.
I can't, man. I don't know if it's like, if the M doesn't really give him full control. Or maybe it's also he's not
like a cult.
focusing.
I think it's just a cult.
Maybe he just can't focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, I know cults are more like organized than this guy's. These attacks do nothing. And Boo literally comes up mocking him and turns him into a cookie.
Yeah.
And eats the cookie. Which I remember the Majin Buu toy back in the day was with the Fat Boo had the Dabura cookie, which I thought was hilarious. And I wish I think I probably have it somewhere, but that's hilarious to me. Like,
yeah, I didn't love that ever as a kid, like the cookie, because again, it's leaning too much into the child stuff.
Hey guys, Saudi Arabia theme park. There's gonna be Dabura cookies, right?
So then instantly, when Dabura dies, Krillin and Piccolo are reanimated.
One moment though. We probably didn't note this, but Trunks and Gotenks were messing around, and Trunks pushes over Piccolo's statue, which is the kid. Devastated me. I thought Piccolo was not coming back. I thought that's the end of it. But then you forget this is an anime and nothing makes sense. And
one Trunks is pretty afraid of that too.
Yeah, well, Trunks looks up there and is like, "Yo, look, guys, it's horrible." And then Piccolo's like, well, "Look at what?"
Yeah, it's so funny how proud he is that he's like, "What? Look at what?" Yeah, and then he instantly ducks down. It's like, what an idiot. It's like what, you know?
What are you looking at, Boo?
Shit. Yeah,
I gotta duck out of this.
Yeah, but I think this is a cool scene because you start to get now the peanut gallery of Krillin, Piccolo, Trunks, and Goten, and like the idea of these four people just suddenly appearing, and
none of them know anything. Piccolo's like, "Give us an intel," and they're like, "We don't have any intel." It's like, dude, Piccolo must be like, "We're screwed. We have no intel at all."
It's like a nightmare. You just wake up, and this scene, like, there's a god that's dead on the floor. A demon king was just turned into a cookie.
And in theory, at this point, Piccolo I would say Piccolo's the most powerful of the four.
So Piccolo heard that Gohan was killed, but he doesn't hear about any of the other Saiyans, so he doesn't know. He's just kind of making assumptions about where everyone else is.
But I do like this Piccolo instantly taking charge. I love it. Like Piccolo becoming team leader because no one else is there to do it.
So then there's a pretty big moment here that I don't think I fully understood, because obviously the next couple episodes have so much impact. But, we get into this Boo theme, and there's some really cool, like, deep strings happening. I think it's from the Dabura music. It sounds like something out of Hans Zimmer or something, but it's like the Dragon Ball Z version. And then you just see the spaceship blow up, and Babidi starts freaking out.
How are we ever gonna leave, Boo?
Yeah. But it's such a great entrance. And just Vegeta's calmness is something we haven't seen in a couple episodes now. He's been
so cocky because he beat Kakarot, and he didn't beat him, but like he thinks he's like, I just beat my rival. I have extra power because of this stuff, and he took a senzu bean. So remember, he's as strong, if not more, depending on like how you view it, because they don't talk about it anymore. He could be a little bit more powerful too, because he just got a huge bow, and now he might be even more powerful because of being drained from that battle and stuff. So he's ready to go.
Although we get this internal thing, because it's anime, so it's not just the dialogue, but we see inside his head that he's hallucinating, that Boo is Goku.
Yeah, well,
and maybe even foreshadowing that he's gonna do whatever it takes and put his life on the line.
And then Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 2. He's got the electricity. He makes the first move by just kicking Boo in the face and then grabbing his little head thingy and just like throwing him around.
And calling him what a strange creature.
But yeah, this is the end of the episode.
Yeah, it's a little bit, I guess, just the start of this fight because we haven't seen anyone really throw Boo around. Deborah got a hit in, but it's stylistically a little similar to Vegeta's fight with Goku. Like some of his moves feel like he's doing the exact same thing that he was just. And we don't also see many moments in Dragon Ball where it's like back-to-back fights. Like he literally went from just fighting the main character to fighting the main enemy, and using a lot of the same techniques.
I mean, this makes sense for kids' cartoons of like, this is to give you like a preview of what's to come. And so people are excited. You're like, oh, I want to see more. You got 30 seconds of fight. And now you're like, oh my God, it's over. And it's like, so now we're at 336. And this one,
236. There's not 300 episodes.
I'm so bad. Sorry, guys. My numbering's off. He kicks Boo in the face, but this time it like leaves an impression. But Boo can just like regenerate. Basically, Vegeta just keeps hitting him with these attacks, not knowing that Boo's just gonna go poof and basically like regenerate.
And you get finally like that Vegeta theme that we've had now since Namek, with like almost the bell ringing and that, and it's timed out where the bell is ringing and he's in slow motion hitting Boo to each bell, and like it's such a cool fight.
It's great. It's a great little fight. And what I do want to point out too, does Babidi not know Boo's abilities because he keeps freaking out?
Well, he doesn't know anything about him.
I guess
he's
not,
never seen him. He didn't know what he looked like.
Because Vegeta blasts through Boo and he's freaked out. So he was also freaked out by the spear before.
By the way, do you remember Piccolo's reaction?
What was that?
It's like he's at like a little league game. Yeah.
Good job, Billy. Got that triple. Now we just need, come on.
Yeah, but Boo regenerates. So.
And he regenerates, and then finally, unfortunately, Boo makes extra of himself and then ties up Vegeta, and then...
he kind of does it out of rage. I mean, that's what's interesting about this. I think Vegeta somehow... I mean, he is outclassing Boo, like, in these attacks, and Boo's responding in a way that seems more rageful.
Then we have, him getting, like, tied up, and basically beat up or tortured, however you want to put it.
Not really a fight anymore.
Yeah, he's just getting beat up. I mean, this kind of reminds me almost of... There was someone else who had this happen, too.
Well, it's like using a weapon. It's like when Batman uses the thing.
Well, it's almost in a way.
It's shooting.
It's like when the Genji Force, when they were so weak that it's kicking him around.
Piccolo sets the stage a little bit here. He starts because he becomes the voice of kind of narration, and he says that Vegeta's the last line of defense. Because he doesn't really know what else is out
Gohan's
there.
gone. Yeah, with Gohan gone.
Don't know where everyone else is. The last time, I was trying to think back to like this idea of the last line of defense, because that's a big thing. Obviously, Goku was that for Frieza. I think maybe Vegeta was that for 18. I guess Gohan was that for Cell. There's not that. There's usually other people that are somewhere that could come back, but I think that's really setting the stage for what's going to happen in the next episode. And then then Trunks goes Super Saiyan and charges in.
Yep. So this is at 337?
237.
Sorry, guys. This is the last one we're going to be talking about for this episode.
And I think maybe definitely in the running for the best episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, interesting. Yes, it is.
I think a lot of people would say.
Trunks kicks Boo in the face, and like Jacob kind of hinted at before, sometimes Boo gets up in a second, and somehow this child knocks Boo out for like 5 minutes.
This was 10 minutes. I did track it. He knocks. Boo is gone for 10 minutes of this.
Gotenks comes and helps. They unroll Vegeta from this stuff and get him out. They are too cocky and think that combined that them three can beat Boo.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to even talk about. I think this is the episode I probably watched the most of any episode in Dragon Ball Z, because I had it on VHS. I watched it 100 times, and this is also where it ended. Like I vividly remember this, the final atonement, and then there was a pause for maybe it was a summer. It wasn't that.
You're right.
It felt like forever before we knew what happened.
Before we got the Super Boo stuff. Yeah, you're right. So we got. I think it was like Otherworld Tournament.
Burned into my memory, and this is why I think we're so obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. What other kids show had Final Atonement as a title? Like, this is trying to do things that are so much more thematic and rich than like other kids shows, you know?
Trunks gets emotional when talking about his dad's legacy and who he is. Like, he is the Prince of all Saiyans, and Trunks takes that as very much a serious thing. He didn't have to, but he does. He takes it.
That was fascinating. I didn't remember the details of all of that. So Vegeta is not unconscious. He's still Super Saiyan, but he's laying there non-responsive. And Trunks basically eulogizes him. Yeah. Like that. What he's saying is that my dad is a prince. This can't happen. And
princes don't lose the monsters.
Yeah, and all this stuff. To Vegeta, that's the most moving thing you could ever hear, I think. That might be part of what made up his mind of what happened.
Yeah, I think he realizes that, like, this is the second time he's let Trunks down.
And he's the one always asserting that he's a prince. I think this is the one time in his life. I mean, Bulma might say it as a joke. This is the one time when someone actually says that about him or to him.
Exactly. Like someone who's giving him like, the optimistic chance that they see the good in him that he came seeing himself.
Piccolo.
Yeah, let's go. We got. My favorite thing is this Bobby being like, "Yes, Boo, do your worst," and then he's like, "Huh?" Hello, Mr. Greenie. Like, you're green with envy.
Yeah.
I always look this way. What a horrible line, by the way. What even was that?
But there's a lot of suspense. This is like a 2 or 3 minute scene.
Yeah.
And trying different magical techniques, and then Piccolo overcoming them, and then eventually slicing him in half. Yeah. And there's a lot. It's like an energy battle that happens.
I just love the fact that he just makes an energy shield. Piccolo finally puts his hand on the shield and just powers up and literally overwhelms the magic, which is pretty cool.
Well, but that seems like an ending thing. It seems like that's the end of. I mean, I remember thinking even like everything's reversing. Like the heroes are now winning, and Piccolo did something right. Why would he not energy blast him after that? He went through Cell. Why would you leave someone chopped in half? Frieza came back.
I do love it though. It's a pretty violent way to go.
It's a violent way, but just blast him after that.
He got cut in half, which is pretty awesome. And then he holds his son for the first time, he says, since he was a baby, or maybe ever. And literally,
it's a real hug too. Yeah, it's not just. I remember thinking it was like just to get to what he's doing, but he really does.
And Trunks is embarrassed by it, and then of course the awesome, just the knockout, just instant knockout.
Yeah, he learned it from Kakarot. Now he's just knocking people out left and right.
I will point out, I hate this so much. Poor Gotenks. He knocks his son. He's like, not want to say gentle with, but it's an attack that probably he doesn't feel. That stomach thing, Gotenks feels for 30 seconds until he's actually knocked out. Poor Gotenks. He does look like Goku, so it probably was that hard for him to do that. But what a jerk! Like that's a child. He just punts in the stomach.
Right. It definitely looks bad, and it's not. This is Japanese culture. This is different. But
you know what's funny is he does this to Gohan too in a way. He kicks him in the stomach in the Namek saga. So I guess he's hit both of Gohan's sons when they're children. What a monster this guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't explain it. He doesn't try any other thing.
But I do like, and then of course Piccolo comes down. He understands the plan before he even has to say it.
Yeah, I remember this lasting so much longer, this conversation, because I think this seals it all. Like, you know, as much as Vegeta's tension with Goku, we've talked about it, 200 episodes of tension with Piccolo.
But here's what I like. I do like this. Piccolo doesn't sugarcoat the situation, but he also has a respect for Vegeta, what he's about to do. Yeah. He literally tells him straight up, you are not going to where Goku went. Like, Goku has sacrificed his entire life for other people and has always been a hero. You have only looked out for yourself, and one action will not undefine you, and you are not going to have a body, and you're not going to have any sense of yourself anymore after this moment. And Vegeta accepts that, and
in a very calm way. And I think, if anything, it makes Vegeta more of a hero, knowing he's saving the world with this knowledge. Yeah. Unlike when other people are like, "Whoa, we can come back with the Dragon Balls." Like,
and Piccolo flies away, and then Boo gets there, and he's all upset.
And then again the Vegeta beam music, this theme that I mentioned, where he's like,
but we have that awesome scene where Vegeta just powers up and it flashes the Boo, and you see the little the energy coming off, basically the energy coming off and touching Boo. Awesome scene of just like he powers up and you just see his energy touching Boo, and Boo's like looking around because he knows something's going on.
Yeah, he's touching it in the air. Well, and Boo looks at him and says, it's like, you fight me now or whatever in his broken English, and that's what's so cool. But that theme plays, that Vegeta beam music. He goes, yes, that's right, and it's like, everyone else has been running away from you. Kai ran away from you. I'm fighting you, and I'm gonna crush you and throw you into the wind. And like the dub is so good. I can't listen to that song without hearing that dialogue in this part. And I'm just gonna say it again. I think he won this fight. Like, I really think, because what he's doing from a fighting technique, he's using Boo's naivety against him. That's Boo's weakness, and he's saying Boo's not going to realize, again, like a suicide bombing attempt.
So would understand, Frieza would,
people would. And he doesn't try to outfight him. He's going to eradicate him using that knowledge. And, like, the fact that what happens, I don't know. I think it should.
I also want to point out, I think Vegeta's at the cusp of what you could do this at, like power-wise. Cell has a special ability that allowed him to do it. But I think power-wise, you do have to be at least Super Saiyan 2, basically. I don't think you could use that Super Saiyan 1. I don't think you have enough energy to expel, to make a blast this big. This is the only attack Vegeta has, and it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Well, he blew through his stomach. He blew, he had different attacks that I think if he couldn't regenerate would have killed Boo.
Sure, but I think
there's nothing the other way.
There's only one technique that basically can beat Boo at their current power levels, and that's something that he does
self-destruct.
So
and then again, tons of symbolism. This has been talked to death everywhere. But the thing that came to mind to me is his dad, King Vegeta, died saving the Saiyans. Yeah. Here's the prince dying to save the Earth. and the Earthlings. Like
it's a little different, but yeah, I get what you mean to a fact. But King Vegeta was definitely more selfish. I mean, especially when we saw the Broly movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he is not the best interest for the Saiyans. It's for his legacy.
if you're smashed to bits, you lost the fight.
Yeah.
I think that should be like if it was a ring out. If you're at the World Martial Arts Tournament, you don't get to regenerate and come back. So anyway,
So did too. So blooping.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Like, I mean, again, okay, fine. It's fine from like a story perspective, but in terms of who won this fight, Vegeta won the fight.
Sure, he did great.
And it is the biggest cliffhanger of all time.
Yeah.
And then we get the ending, the voiceover. His name was Vegeta, a proud Saiyan prince, and you have to sit with that for a whole summer. Imagine that when you're like 10 years old.
Nowadays you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, as kids we had to wait a while. We're not sacrificing nothing, but we'll be back next week.